Yesterday, since we are discussing about the HANA Studio administration part, HANA Studio administration part here, right? So you can see here, so whenever you close and open the HANA Studio, you need to use the user ID and password. Again, you have to authenticate it. Again, you need to authenticate it here. Then only you can log into the HANA Studio level here. HANA Studio level, you can authenticate it here, right? See, you connected to the HANA database here, right? So this is the way we can check. Why? Because if the HANA is up and running, then only you can log into the HANA Studio level. Then only you can log into the HANA Studio. HANA Studio means anywhere you can connect it here. Mainly thing is here. So you should able to you should check the so whether database is up or not. That is the main important thing here. Database should be up and running. And also you can check the memory status free-g. Okay, so top command to check the CPU memory utilization, which process is causing the high memory. So all the information will be displayed, right? So here you can see the so index server will use always high memory consumption, high CPU consumption. Why? Because the activity, all the activity will happen in the index server only. That's why index server will consume the lot of memory and everything. You can see here, right? So here, so yesterday we have discussed about the some of the studio related administration, like to check the way to check the overall status of the your HANA database. See here, here it's coming to the yellow, which means the file system free space is getting less. That's the reason you see. So this is very less here. So then CPUs are fine and memory usage is fine, and disk usage you see here it's coming to very less here because of your so your file system usage is very means very high. So that's the reason. So it's in the amber status, right? So that you can check it out if you go to the df-hatch. See here 91% it is occupied. 91% it is occupied. So means space is getting very less. That's why it's given the symptom here. Then if we go to the landscape tab here, it will give you the so the process related details, which process, when it got restarted, what is the memory consumption, what is the CPU consumption, all the information is displayed here in the so here, right? That is the main thing here, right? Next one is the alerts tab. Alerts tab, that we know if any errors or any symptoms that will be displayed here. See here, so we have the space issues, right? We have the space issues. That space related information is getting displayed in the so in this alerts tab here. See, so disk one slash and data slash and log slash and shared, there is a usage, there is a usage information is displaying here, right? So and also here the high priority alert system database backup does not exist. So there are the some other alerts are displayed here. Other alerts are displayed here, right? That is the main thing here. So alerts related information. Performance means sessions, how many threads are open, how many sessions are open currently, means how many users are connected. Currently you connected, it is running status. Then how many threads are open here, so that so what he is doing here, so that information, is there any sessions are blocked, so is there any SQL plan cache, normally we won't check this one. So then any traces is active, any jobs are in progress, that is information will be displayed in the performance tab. And volume tab is like kind of a checking the space of the total data volume and log volume, what is the free. So all the information will be displayed in the so index server and access engine, index server, and that information will be displayed here. So now coming to the so configuration tab. Configuration tab. So configuration tab is mainly for the parameter changes here. So configuration tab is like a changes of the parameters. Suppose in your system, if you want to do some changes here, suppose you want to do the some changes. So then in this case, configuration tab we have to use it here. Like in SAP level, so you want to do some configuration changes like parameter changes. You want to increase the memory, you want to decrease the memory, you want to restrict something, you want to increase the process or something like that. then what you do, so you will do the you will do it in the configuration tab here, right? That you will perform in the configuration tab, right? So that is the configuration tab here. So in the SAP level, you do RG10, RG11, that is the transactional code to change the perform the changes. But HANA level configuration tab is like a changes of the parameters, right? So here we have the so processes, compile server, daemon, index server, name server. Each process there is a so parameters are controlled here, right? So you can see here index server dot .ini file, right? So then the access engine dot .ini file, global dot .ini file. So there the INA files are available to perform the this kind of changes here. This kind of changes here in the SAP in the HANA DB level. If any changes you need to do, any configuration changes, any memory parameter changes, any SQL changes, any process related changes, you need to go to the respective INA file. You have to do the changes here. You have to do the changes here. So here you need to go to the, you need to expand the each INA file here. Then you need to change the respective parameter here. So respective parameters here. Suppose like example, you want to change the memory parameters here. Memory parameters you want to change it here. Suppose because currently 32 GB is OS memory, in that 28 GB is assigned to the HANA, right? But I don't want to 28 GB, I want only 25 GB, I assign it to the HANA. Then here the allocation limits, the global allocation limit, the parameters are there, global allocation limit. So see here, it is 0. It's set to the 0 means unlimited. 0 means unlimited here. Then I want to assign the 25, so 25 GB around. Then if you change it here, but it will not allowed. Generally, the changes are not allowed for the Trinity database here, right? So why? Because so always managing parameter changes, stopping the Trinity database, everything we have to perform from the system DB only. System DB only we have to perform it here. So that's the reason we can go to the configuration tab here. So there we can go to the changes, and here the memory manager here, right? So memory manager, so the frequently the changed parameters or timeout parameters, memory parameters are there. So they will tell us which parameters we have to change it, what is the value. Based on that, we can change the value here. So configuration tab, in the configuration tab, we need to change the so memory parameters here, right? Global allocation limit, global allocation limit, and allocation limit. These parameters we have to change it here, right? So let's go to the memory manager here. So global allocation limit, this is the parameter. So here, suppose if you change it to the value to the 20, so here, then click on the OK button here. So see here, so I changed the parameter value to 0. Okay, I changed the parameter value to so 25 GB here, right? So then you can go to here, then you can go to the here, just click on the display. So then see 25 GB it got changed. 25 GB it got changed, which means the value got changed here. The value got changed here, right? That is the main thing here, right? So means these parameters will control the overall usage of the, so overall this process usage, it will control it here. That is the, like that we have, we can configure the statement memory limitations as well. Statement memory limitations as well. Here statement memory limit here. So -1 limited. So I want to give only 2 GB to the every SQL statement, right? Then you can just configure the 2 GB here, that will be affected. So which means whatever the value you do here, that will be affected to the so entire process, entire HANA database here, right? That is the main thing here, right? See here 32 GB, previously we have the 28 GB, now it's around 25 GB you allocated here, 25 GB you allocated to this memory, right? That is the thing here, right? All the services and everything got started here, right? That is the one thing, right? So this is the so one So one configuration tab, system level. If any configurations parameter, if you want to change it, suppose sometime they may ask you to do the changes of the timeout parameters. Then if you don't know where it is sits, why? Because each tab, if you expand it, there are respective folders, right? Then there is a filter here. Just you can type like some text here. The text related all the parameters will be displayed. The text related all the parameters and everything will be displayed. So based on that, we can do the changes here. Based on that, you can do the changes here, right? So idle time, connection response time. So all the information we can check it out here. That is the main thing here, right? Idle connection time out here, idle parameters, idle connection time limit here. So all the information, so whatever the parameter you want to change it here, that we can change it here, right? So here the respective tab, so you can change it here, respective word, respective tabs. So if you don't know the parameter name where to change it, just come to filter tab, just put the parameter name, that will be changed here, that will be changed here, right? See here, that will be changed. You can change the value here, right? So this way, so we can so change the values, parameter values of the HANA database and everything. We can change it here. Okay, that is the HANA. So parameter changes in the configuration tab of the system DB. From the system DB only you have to change it. Why? Because system DB is responsible for managing the all the tenants. So you have to do it from the system DB only. Okay, that is the one important thing here. Next one is like a so system information tab. System information is like a information about your current system here. So instead of going here and checking all the details here, so you have the details in the system information. There are the defined statements are available here. Normally, if you need some data in the database level, you need to execute the some queries. The data will be displayed, right? But in the HANA level, so already the predefined SQL statements are there. So your manager asked you to check the how many catches are there in the database level. Can you please report it? Then right click and execute it here. The report will be generated. This report you can save and you can send it to the him, right? And also he is asking, he is asked to like check the how many failed backups are there, what is the overall workload, what are the open transactions are there in the HANA database level. If you execute it, the open transactions information will be displayed here. Then save as a file and you can send it to the him, right? So this kind of information we can see it here, right? So size of the table database, right click and execute here. Then all the schema, table name, disk size is will be executed here. That is the main important thing here. That is the one thing here. Okay. And so used memory, right click and so execute here, right? Then how much memory used here, that information will be displayed here, right? So right click, right, by this one you can check the all the information here. So database level information. So normally if you require this kind of details here, so normally you need to write a query, execute the select queries, and you need to so you need to open the queries and you need to execute it here. This kind of queries you have to execute it and you have to write it here. Then instead of that, SAP is providing the so information within the system itself. Just right click and execute it here. The listed information will be displayed here, right? So this kind of information we can see it here in the system information tab. Okay, system information tab here. Then diagnosis files, okay, system information about the your system related details and everything we can generate it here, right? You don't need to go to the so suppose like if you need the failed blocked transactions report your manager is asking, then you can go to the landscape or you can go to the performance blocked transactions. Then you can see whatever transactions are there, you can see it here. Instead of that, in the system information itself, you are getting just right click and execute, the data will be displayed here. The data will be displayed here. That's the information. Okay. So next one is the diagnosis files. Diagnosis files means memory. So diagnosis files means error log files here. Error log files here. So in your system, in case of any issues or any errors, so that will be generated as a diagnosis files here. that will be generated as a diagnosis files here, right? Suppose like example here, you can see the log files are there here. Log files. See, these all are the log files here. System in your system. So normally example. Let's talk about the example here. When you go and visit the doctor, so hospital doctor will write this some prescription. For, he needs some reports, diagnosis reports to analyze to diagnosis, right? So then in this case, so you will go and test it, and it will generate the some log, some reports. Then based on that, he will suggest something, right? Same as like here in the diagnosis files. So in the system level, in the SAP HANA database level, if any each and every log is written into the in the diagnosis files, each and every log written into the diagnosis files here. So index server trace, name server trace, access engine. So all the information will written into the so diagnosis files here, so right. So that information we can see it here, right? What this process is doing, what the index server is doing here. So if you open the trace here, that log file will be displayed here. Log file will be displayed here. So that information we can see it in the index server trace log file. Index server trace log file, we can see the all the information here, right? That is the one thing here. Right? So then, so anything, suppose like access engine, you want to check the access engine. This is the tenant database from only two process. When you go to the system DB, here you have the name server, preprocessor, daemon. So all the process are there. So all the process related information we can see it here. All the process related information we can see it here, right? So it may be the diagnosis files are consuming the lot of memory here, lot of space issues here. Then we can clear it out. We can clear it out at operating system level also here. Same log files are available in the operating system level, right? So in case of any error, ANA space issues, index server not responding, index server high memory consumption, system related issues, or anything, we can use this diagnosis files. We can use the diagnosis files to perform the changes in the system, to perform the changes in the system here. Diagnosis files. Okay, that is the one important thing here. Diagnosis files. All the information, compile servers and name server, preprocessor, and all the information we can see it here. That is the diagnosis files here, traces files here. Okay, that is the one thing. So then, so next one is the trace configuration here. Trace configuration. So suppose what the doctor normally check. In case of if you are already reports, then you will go and diagnosis files, you will check it out. But you required more logs, he required more reports to conclude the issue. Then you can go to the trace configuration. You can activate by default database trace will be active, but you need more logs. You need some user specific logs. You want to open the performance trace logs here. Then you can just check the activate the performance trace. Then the trace is running. The performance trace is running. So then all the performance related information and everything will be collected here, right? All the performance related information will be collected here, right? You want to check the some SQL logs, more logs, then you can activate the logs. Expensive statement, SQL statements related, user specific traces, end-to-end traces, any traces you want to check, means to collect the more logs here. Normally rare cases we will come to this tab trace configuration, then we will check the logs and all the information we will see it here, logs and everything we will see it here, right? More information we will check in the so trace configuration here, right? That is the one thing here, right? So here the all the logs is collecting here, all the logs are getting collected here. You can see all the logs are getting collected here, right? So that's the thing. These logs will be at the operating system level. So in the diagnosis files, it will come here, right? Diagnosis files, it will come like what are the information, what are the log files. So why these log files are important means these log files are important. So to investigate the issue, to investigate the for the root cause issue, to that purpose, these log files are very, very, very important. Okay, these log files are very, very important log files. That's the main thing here, right? Trace configuration. To collect the more logs, you need to activate the respective traces. So suppose example, one particular user causing the memory issues. You need to check the what is that user, or you know that user, but you want to know what he is doing and everything here. Then you can enable the user specific trace. User specific trace here. What is the database user? Suppose like database side, Ravi user, and application side also the Ravi user is causing them a lot of issues. Then you can can just activate the trace here. Then the Ravi trace got activated here. So that whatever the Ravi is doing currently in the system, so all the traces will be recorded. All the traces will be configured and recorded here, right? The traces will be generated in this log file here, right? That is the one thing here. All the traces will be generated in this log file here. That is the so information. So any specific trace, the existing logs are not enough to check further. Then you can activate the more traces here. You can activate the more traces. You can activate it here. That we will call it as the so trace configuration. In the trace configuration, you can activate the more logs, more traces. You can activate it here. That is the one thing here, right? User specific trace or performance trace or expensive trace, end-to-end traces. So whatever the existing logs are not enough, existing reports are not enough to report the kind of issues. So then you can use the trace configuration. There you can find out the some clear information about the so traces, user specific performance, all the traces you can activate it here. Activate it here. That's we will call it as the so trace configuration. Trace configuration here. Okay, so that is the traces related information. So normally by default traces are available here. So sometimes what happens, issue will not be available in these traces. Issue will not be detected here. Then so SAP asking more logs, then we can enable the trace configuration. We can enable it here. Then it will collect the more logs. That logs we can provide to the SAP. The SAP will do the investigations here, right? That is the traces and the diagnosis files. So system information. System information means there's a predefined SQL statements here, right? So here we can see the overall workload of the system, schema, size. Suppose someone asking you, so how many tables are loaded, size of the tables he asked you to display. Then all the tables and what is the size you got it. Normally this kind of information if you want, so it's not easy to pull the report, right? You need to write the SQL query, long SQL query, you need to write it here. But instead of writing there, the predefined statements are there. Just execute it here. That information will be displayed here. That information is displayed here. That's the main thing here. Okay. So system information configuration means parameter changes in the system level. If you want to do the any parameter changes, any configuration changes, so any adjustments, that configuration. Volumes tab. So that it will report the volume which disk the space level information will be displayed here. Performance tab. System, how many connections are opened, how many sessions are opened, so what they are doing, and what is the duration of the each session. All the information will be displayed here. All the information will be displayed here. How many threads are there, how many sessions are opened here. See, and blocked transactions, any alerts, critical alerts, so memory space related errors and everything here. So landscape tab means the process related information. Landscape means landscape process. HANA services related. HANA, we have the 7 core process, that services related information, memory consumption, all the information we can see it in the all the information we can see it in the here, right? See here now it's a 3, so it's coming to red because of so space. It's coming to red here, right? So this kind of things we can see in the this kind of things we can see in the so HANA Studio tabs here. HANA Studio tabs here. So here suppose right click on the system DB. If you want to stop the HANA database, you can stop it. From here itself, you can stop it. If you want to do the restart, you can also do the restarts, right? So HANA Cockpit earlier it's part of the studio only, but now HANA Cockpit is the separate one here. Nowadays it is not available here, right? Nowadays it's not available. HANA Cockpit is not available here, right? That is the one thing here. So deprecated. So HANA Cockpit is delivered as replaced. So 2.0 is available. Comprehensive tool is available here. Means dedicated server you have to install the HANA Cockpit here. So now browser level you logged into the HANA system. Then here what will happen? Web dispatcher will took the request here, your request, then will assign to the respective access engine. Access engine will process the your request. Which access engine is available in the tenant database, it will process the request here, right? That is the one thing here. You can see stop, restart. So if you stop it, HANA database will be stopped. If you want to restart, stop and restart will happen here, right? So that is the one thing. And life cycle management here. So in the studio level, we have the two types of, one is the application development related life cycle management. Application means development related application teams. So transports, other things. Platform life cycle management is like for us, suppose if you want to do the any kind of if we want to do the any kind of functionalities here, like we want to update the component through browser level also, you can perform the this kind of things here. Browser level also you can perform the this kind of things here, updating and everything here, right? That is the one thing here. So suppose this is a life cycle management. So from here also you can see the what are the installed update component, configure the directories. So it kind of a post installation activities. If we want to do it anything here, then using the life cycle platform life cycle management, we can perform it here. Platform life cycle management, we can perform it here. So it is suppose like if you need the system information, so then the information will be displayed here, right? So configurations, any configuration, any host level information, the host level information will be displayed here, right? So then install the component, that information will be displayed here, right? So that is the, you want to add the different host, you want to download the component, you want to uninstall the components, you want to add the system role, some kind of post activities, you want to update the components, that you can perform it here, right? Configure the SLD, you want to configure the SLD, that you can do it here, right? We want to update the system components, that we can do it from the life cycle management here, right? Life cycle management here. We want to add the system roles here, that so some kind of activities we can perform. So now browser level, you are doing this one here, right? So here web dispatcher access engine will take care of the this responsibility, right? That is the main thing here. Okay. Let's tab, performance tab, and all the information here. Okay, that is the one thing. So that is the life cycle management. You have two types of life cycle management. Application related things here. So transports or anything, they can perform it. Platform life cycle management. So like platform life cycle management is like a platform related, like ours means we basis will do the work like upgrades, configuration, that kind of things will perform it here. So that is a platform life cycle management here, right? So backup and recovery, that is a separate topic. Security, separate topics here. Okay, that's our separate topics. So this is the so thing here. So every tab, everywhere, if we go similar tabs at the system DB, Tenant DB have the similar thing here, right? So that is the one thing. So life cycle management, backup and recovery, security. So now if you see here, there is a catalog. There is a catalog information here, right? Catalog is the folder. So normally we see HANA, HANA is a database. The database means a list of tables are there. In the tables, the data will be resides. Table level data will be resides, right? That information we know. So database level. So tables, all the tables will be located in the database level. So where can I see the tables here? As of now, we are only seeing the system related information, data, monitoring related things, all the things we are seeing Where can I see the data means here catalog. Under the catalog, we have the list of schemas are there. Under the schema, we have the tables are there. Under the schema, we have the tables where we can see that all the tables and their data and everything. We can see it here, right? Suppose like these all are the under the catalog, we have the schemas. Schemas means the group of tables, owner of the table. Simply, you can say owner of the table is called a schema, right? Suppose in organizations, we have the multiple teams, right? Multiple tables, but each table, there's a group, like multiple groups, right? Multiple teams, right? Basis team, security team, above team, functional teams, right? Each team, there is a manager. He will manage the respective teams related members work and everything. Same as like here, the schema. Schema is like a owner of the table, right? Then under the schema, we have the tables, list of tables are available. The schema, we have the list of tables are available. You can see the list of tables here. That is the one thing here, list of all the tables and everything we can see it here, right? So that is the tables related details and all the information here, right? So that is the one. So here you can see the list of schemas. Schema means owner of the table. Sys, all the tables in the database level only. That group of tables called the schema means one group of tables will called as schema. Here, right click and open the data preview. Here, all the data will be displayed. What's the data is there in this table? In this adapter ID, agent ID, location, all the one. So there is a list of rows will be displayed here. Right click and open data preview. Right, so that is the right click and open data preview. The data will be displayed. Whatever the data is there inside of the data, the table level, the data will be displayed here. Okay, that is the name, right? So that is the data here. Right click and open the data. See here in the 336 rows retrieved in the 31 milliseconds here. 336 rows retrieved in the 31 milliseconds here, which means how fast it got retrieved. 15 milliseconds here, right? How fast this data is getting 0 milliseconds, right? So it means the data in the memory within fraction of milliseconds we can grab the data here. Within fraction of milliseconds we can grab the data here. That is called the column store tables here, right? So that is the table here. That is the tables, right? So that is the table for related data inside of the table here, right? So this table's owner is different. The owner of the table name is called the sys, right? So here example sys, like that system, like that number of tables are available here. Number of tables we can see it here, right? So here all the tables are located in this session, in this schema. So here if you want to do the analysis here, live analysis. So we are discussing, right? We can check the live data analysis here. All the like means we can do the graphical also, we can do the data analysis here. What is the data analysis? Graphical also we can do the analysis in the schema here, and x-axis, y-axis, whatever the graph. If you want to open the graph in the pie chart wise, you want to open the bar line wise line charts in these charts, and different map wise. So radar charts, tree charts, and so the waterfall charts. So whatever you want to open, you can open the data. So if any records are inserting, then immediately this graph flow will change, right? That is the one thing here. Table level, grid level, HTML level, all the tables, all the data we can see it here, right? That is the data means. So system data we can see it in the graphical level. The usage by using this one, suppose like this is a sales table, one product related sales table here, one product related sales table here. Here you want to do the some perform the analysis here, perform the analysis here. Sys table perform the analysis here, like so you want to, they want to calculate the all the information and everything here. Then in this case, so all the tables related data is available here. That graphically you can see what is the sales, what is the duration, what is the product. So some kind of information we can see it here. Some kind of information we can see it here. That information we can see it here. Live analysis data we can see it here. That's the thing here, right? That is the catalog. Why? Because table just not only data related live data, the visualization graphical level, we can see it here. That reports we can save as an image, or we can save to the, we can inform to the respective people, right? That is the little the. So catalog, another catalog, we have the schemas. Under the schema, we have the list of tables. All the tables related details, we can see it here. Sometimes you may have to, so you may have to export the tables. That's why you need to know. So just how to export the tables here. So then how to export the tables, either file system level or local file system level, or where to export it here. Then how to delete, case of how to import the tables. So then how to open the data preview means whatever the data is there inside of the table, that will be displayed here. Okay, that is the information. Right click and open the data preview. So the data is opening here. The data is displaying here. Okay. So just check it out today for today. Tomorrow I will explain about the licenses, and there are very, very important topics are there. Table licenses, what is the HANA licensing, HANA format, HANA. So there are many topics are there. Just only studio related topics are I discussed here. But there are the many topics are there, important topics. So that I will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Any questions, anyone?
So during